Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. There's so many great podcasts up there. Any type of sport you're kind of looking for, they do stuff on that. All kinds of stuff over there for you. Visit the website, please. Also, we are also brought to you by Skull Candy now, and that was a big thing for us. In the description below, if I do it right this time, there will be there will be ways for you to help the show by purchasing some Skull Candy products, and we really appreciate that if you would do that. So today we're going to look at the 5 teams that Matthew Stafford may be headed to. So we're going to look at that for you. We got some Detroit Lions news and rumors, and as always, we could comment on your comment cards. But first, I want to bring in my co-host, the man of steel himself, Curt Steele.
What up, though? Welcome to the show, people. You know who we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And join the family. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, you can join us weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on our channel for the premiere of our shows. And you can chat with the show right there during the premiere. And if you want to get your comments right up front, pay a little extra cheddar and join the super chat. And like the videos, comment on the videos, answer the question of the day. All of these things help us get this content for more Alliance fans just like yourself. And don't forget, if you want to go mobile, we have the podcast version of this show that launches every day at 1 p.m. So you can take it on the go as a podcast. You know, if you want to do a run or workout or listen to it at your leisure. If you aren't able to watch it, you can listen to it on Spotify and other podcast platforms. Let's get this thing started
right now.
Let's get it.
Hey, welcome back to the show, people. It is time to get into the main course, which we talk about the 5 possible landing spots for Matthew Stafford. But first, let me introduce, you know who he is, the right stuff, our research and information intern, Chris. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you. Today, let's go ahead and take a look at the 5 places Stafford's going to go. We hate to see him go, but these are the options we have here. So let's have another great show.
Yeah, first we're looking at the Washington football team. Terrible name. They might be a better team if they pick up Stafford. New Washington general manager Martin Mayhew, you might recognize that name, was the general manager in Detroit when Stafford was drafted with the top pick in 2009. Washington does have Alex Smith, but he's the one-legged quarterback pretty much. Sorry. He did make an amazing comeback. I can't say nothing.
He did. He was a comeback player of the year, hands down. Yeah,
he was amazing. I swear, because that injury was, ugh.
I mean, he has to wear a brace just to pick up his foot.
Right.
They need to name that award after him. It should be the Alex Smith Award from now on.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I don't have no control over that, though.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was more important like that.
Yeah. Let me get Goodell on the line right quick.
Yeah. He's on line 2. Okay, so he pulled off a remarkable NFL comeback this past season, but he struggled to stay healthy due to those nagging injuries. Washington had to start with a journeyman, Taylor Hanke. I hope I'm saying Nicky.
Hanke is right.
In his postseason matchup versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Washington has a star wide receiver in Terry McLaurin, talented 2020 rookie running back in Antonio Gibson, and an elite defense, which is highlighted by a defensive line made up of first-round picks. A very weak division, the NFC least. Yes.
Absolutely.
Washington can upgrade at quarterback and really take control of the NFC least. They can offer the Lions a 19th overall pick in the 2021 draft, along with 2021 third round picks and a 2022 second round pick. Okay, so for all those people that were saying we couldn't even get a first round pick, according to Adam Schefter, even now, the Lions are going. Looks like they're going to get multiple first round picks for Matthew Stafford, not just one.
Yeah, I believe so. All right, Next up, you know who they are. They are the former evil empire, the New England Patriots. All right, perhaps the greatest coach in NFL history is ready to find the next champion under center. And there's no reason that it can't be number 9. Okay, and there's no reason to think Stafford wouldn't welcome the opportunity to play for a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach. Belichick has also had a tendency to trade out of the first round of the draft. They've very rarely draft in the first round. It seems feasible. Yeah, it seems doable. All right. And they may be willing to part ways with 2 first rounders to acquire the franchise quarterback to become the next Tom Brady. No, he'll be the only Matthew Stafford. I don't like that next Tom Brady crap.
The one and only.
Yeah, he's the one and only Matthew Stafford. It might be the biggest bounty the Lions can get for Stafford. The Patriots can offer 2 first-round draft picks for Stafford, the 15 overall in 2021, and the next draft for the 2022, their first-round draft pick as well. This trade will make a lot more sense if the previous regime of General Manager Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia were still in charge. Yeah,
So Patricia went back over there. So who knows?
Quinn, Tricia. Yeah, I probably won't be long till Quinn's back over there. After all, the previous relationship with the Pats as former employees helped facilitate trades between the clubs in the past. The offense of the Pats could use more than just quarterback help. Top wide receivers for the last season was Jacoby Myers, who led the Pats with only 729 yards receiving. Yeah, they had very little receiver help. People talk about the bad job that Cam did, but he didn't have any really weapons on the outside. But that is an option. That's one of those teams that's been licking their chops to get Matthew Stafford for the last couple of years.
Yeah, let's take it over to the Indianapolis Colts now. They had a pretty good year. They made the playoffs with 11-5 record. They got a wild card spot, but they lost to the Buffalo Bills only by 3 points. And that was with Old Man Rivers as their quarterback. So it's not too bad. But he did retire, Phillip Rivers, that is. So they're looking for a quarterback here now. This is an attractive spot for Stafford if he has any say in where he goes, because the Colts do have a really great defense right now. And they do have some young talent on offense, some good running backs there. And Michael Pittman is an emerging wide receiver star. I think he's going to be good next year. What the Colts can offer for Stafford is a 2021 first-round pick. It's the 21st overall. So I've seen a lot of speculation around that pick as a defensive player or an offensive lineman, so that would definitely help. They can also offer a third-round pick in this year's draft and a 2022 first-round pick as well. So 2 first-round picks and a third-rounder in exchange for Stafford, and they're saying we'll send a second-round pick with Stafford as well for next year's draft.
I don't know about that one. I think Indianapolis could be a destination, but I'm not sure they have enough. I would actually be looking for their 2021 first-round pick and a player.
Yeah, think about this. And one guy that they have is T.Y. That's one of the guys they may really unload. But looking at the Colts, looking at that, Stafford would be attractive for him because he'll have one thing he never had in Detroit, which is a solid running game. And a solid running game.
Offensive line, I thought that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to get rid of any of our picks along with Stafford, but in this scenario,
I think
we don't have enough picks to go around. Right.
Another destination may be the Carolina Panthers. They were 5-11 last season under quarterback Teddy Bridge the Gap Bridgewater.
2 gloves.
Teddy 2 gloves.
Yeah.
Under center, and McCaffrey missing 13 games due to injury. That really hurt that team. The Panthers earned themselves the right to draft 8th overall in the 2021 NFL draft. That's 1 slot behind the Lions at number 7. Wow. In this scenario, we could have the 7th and the 8th pick. Oh my goodness. Back-to-back picks in the top 10. Holy cow. That'd be sweet. They throw in a couple of third rounders to sweeten the deal. Are you kidding me? Wow. And people were thinking we wouldn't even get a first. He would be worth a second or a third. They're talking about the number 8 overall plus a couple more picks. Wow. The Detroit Lions could land their next great quarterback receiver combo. Oh, think about that. They could draft a quarterback with one of those really great receivers with the other one.
Yep.
Or that offensive lineman I really like. Anyway,
the one out of the right tackle out of Alabama.
Yeah, it could be him. I think there was another one that I was looking at too. Matthew Stafford to Calvin Johnson version 2.0 for the next decade. The Panthers can offer the Detroit the number 8th pick in this year's draft and 2021 third round pick and a 2022 third. Wow, that's a lot.
That's a haul.
That's a haul. Carolina, if you're listening, we're talking business.
We're talking. Hey, that's down here in my backyard. You know, I live about 2 hours from Charlotte down here in North Carolina. All right, next up, we have what my man Jim likes to call an affectionate name for them, the San Francisco 49ers. All right, The Niners were just in the Super Bowl in 2019 after posting a 13-3 record. And that was with quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G under center. You know, he is the porn star aficionado. You know, if you want to know, read into that later on, you can. All right. With the inconsistent Garoppolo playing only 6 games in 2020 due to injury, the Niners finished the past season with a 6-10 record. Owning the 12th overall selection in the first round of the draft, the 49ers are an attractive landing spot for Stafford. For obvious reasons, and because the team likely believes it's only one quarterback away from hoisting the Lombardi Trophy again, they might be willing to part with more draft capital than most. The 49ers can offer the 12th overall pick in this year's draft, along with a second rounder, and they will send a 3rd and 4th round pick of next year's draft in exchange for Stafford. Woo-wee! Boy, you talk about some hauls. People keep talking about we ain't get nothing for Stafford. Boy, like teams are really willing to mortgage some of their future for number 9. Looking at that, I mean, it looks like an attractive spot. He goes out to California to play. I know that will be one of the areas that he probably would want to play. They have a lot to offer for him, and we can definitely use that draft capital to help rebuild the team.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And San Francisco's a team that went through a lot of injuries this year. They get a lot of those players back on defense, especially, and that running game that they have, Stafford.
And look at he will go from having TJ as his tight end to George Kittle. That's an attractive. Wow. That's an attractive place too.
Yeah, it is, and they might even know how to use them.
Plus,
all right, what are some other possible destinations for Stafford, Chris?
Yeah, there's a few other spots he's been rumored to possibly go to. One of them would be the Dolphins in that Tua trade scenario. Where they try to give up on him and get Tua. I'm not a fan of it either.
Not a fan.
Another place that I've heard he might go to is the Pittsburgh Steelers, replace Big Ben.
That's true. That might happen. They'd have to cut Big Ben and do some salary adjustments.
Yeah, they're kind of this similar players in the sense that they're a bigger quarterback who gets hit a lot, plays through injuries, throws the ball down the field a lot. Similar type players. Another place that I don't really think is going to happen, and we touched on it yesterday a little bit, is the Saints as well. Replace Drew Brees.
They're in cap hell. I don't see that happening.
There are.
I think they gave Jameis a shot, if not Taysom Hill, over trying to spend money on a quarterback.
Yeah,
one spot that I think might be a good fit is the Denver Broncos.
And they have the 9th pick.
Yeah.
So they got some draft capital. So that
they got some capital.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be a bad fit. They have a couple good running backs, a pretty good defense. They're not sold on Drew Lock after his second year, so maybe they give up on him. But another place is the Dallas Cowboys. We mentioned this yesterday as well. Jerry Jones.
Loves Matthew Stafford.
He does. And Stafford's from there.
Yeah, he's from Highland Park.
So
I don't think he'd have a problem with moving back, but
I don't think he would either.
I don't know.
I don't know if anybody that gets them in the NFC, it gets him in the NFC least becomes the number 1 team instantly in that division.
Yeah, What was that? What was that offer yesterday that was big? What was Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup?
Yep.
You got to throw.
From the
You got.
Cowboys.
I'm here in my deal. We need a bruising back. You throw in Zeke Elliott. Now we're talking. Or one of those big offensive linemen that's not. That's
I think
healthy.
it's the offensive line. We have DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I really believe that he could be the back of the future. And
Yeah.
you get Zeke and him together, though. Holy cow, that's a 1-2 punch.
Well, that's a 1-2 punch for you. What's going on with the cap situation there, Chris?
Yeah, so a cap hit if traded before June 1st of this year, 19 million in saving.
No.
14 million if traded.
Yeah, the cap hit
after
is
June 1st.
Yeah. No. Well, the cap hit, I believe the cap hit is 19 million before, and they save 14 million if he's not traded before the first.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. And then if he's traded after June 1st, it's 13 million saving, 21 million for the 2020 season over the cap per overthecap.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saving 20 million for the
20 million
season.
Yeah, if we can hold off to that, and I think the offers are going to come in fast, especially once we hit that new beginning of March and we hit that new league year.
He has a bonus that hits too in March.
Yeah, the roster bonus that he'll hit. So I mean, I just think that the Lions will probably move him before the June 1st. I think. Yeah, they'll move him before June 1st. It's just, to me, I just think that they're not going to be in a situation where they're going to hold on to him that long.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. All righty.
They're going to want that draft capital for the draft.
Yeah, that makes sense. Draft capital for the draft. Okay, guys, we're going to go into your comments now. Oh, wait, no, we're going into what? Where am I going to?
Rumors. News and rumors.
We're going to go into the news and rumors next. The
Who
first
you got,
report is Detroit's hiring Duce Staley. I remember him as a running back coach and assistant head coach. Holy cow. So we got an assistant head coach for Dan Campbell now.
Campbell.
Detroit coaching staff is starting to come together, and Duce Staley will be the team's running back coach and team's assistant head coach. Staley was the longest tenured coach with the Philadelphia Eagles, serving the exact same two roles with their franchise. But after 10 years, oh my goodness, Staley wanted out of Philly because of the changes happening with the Philadelphia Eagles franchise. And after being passed over for head coaching position in favor of Nick Sirianni, Staley has interviewed twice now for the head coaching position in Philly and once for the offensive quarterback position. So he said, yeah, you know what? Deuces. Oh, anyway.
Yeah, I don't blame him for wanting to get out.
Yeah, he chucked him. And that was one of those coaching situations where they kind of got a lot of flack for how they kind of handled that situation there in Philadelphia. They just kind of it kind of reminded me of how the Lions hired Patricia. It was kind of like they knew who they wanted. They kind of just went ahead and hired the guy they wanted just off of a whim. And then the whole thing they came out about how they kind of catered to him. He was coming off vacation. Oh, I forgot my suit. So he did it in, I guess, casual clothes, and they all dressed down for him for his interview. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's not I can understand why Staley was like, nah, I'm good. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So
he's been there 10 years and kind of just they thumbed their nose. But I like what Detroit is doing. It looks like there's kind of an assistant to every person in the thing. There's support all the way through. They're building a think tank, and they hired somebody else. Who else did they hire, Curt?
All right. So Detroit Lions are hiring Aubrey Pleasant as the secondary coach and the defensive passing game coordinator. All right, the Lions are making another highly praised hire to their coaching staff, according to NFL Network Steve Weitz. The Lions are hiring Rams cornerback coach Aubrey Pleasant to the team's next secondary coach position and pass game coordinator. Pleasant is a local, having grown up in Flint. Hey, what up, Flint? You know what I'm saying? That's my hometown. You know, he a Flintstone. And he even started his football coaching career as a defensive backs coach for Grand Lake High School. Nice. From there, he spent a couple of years at University of Michigan before breaking into the NFL in 2013. In 2017, Pleasant followed Sean McVay from Washington to the Rams, where he spent the last 4 seasons as the team's cornerback coach. When the Rams defensive coordinator Brandon Staley landed a head coaching position this offseason, many believed that Pleasant would be in line for that position, including many believe, but Pleasant was in line to take that job. So Rams cornerback Jalen Ramsey had a ton of good things to say about Mr. Pleasant. He said this is one of his best seasons because of the tutelage of Pleasant as his defensive backs coach.
So we now have a name for our secondary, Pleasantville.
Pleasantville.
This is kind of weird. It's kind of weird that he's the secondary coach, but also the pass game coordinator. So you see,
Sean McVay did that out there in he did it out there in if you kind of look at that, Brandon Staley, before he became the defensive coordinator out there in Los Angeles, he worked on the offensive side of the ball as well. So he was part of Sean McVay's offensive staff before he became the defensive coordinator. And you think about it, I think about it like this: who's better to kind of teach the passing game than a defensive back? He knows both sides of that ball. He knows you throw it down the field. He knows how to cover the guys too. So I like that kind of a dual hat where you can be multifaceted. You don't have that type of innovation a lot of times on the coaching staff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Report retaining Darrell Bevell might have convinced Stafford to stay in Detroit. To be honest with you, I think this is my BS meter is up really, really high with this. I don't think this is true. But
I really, really don't like that take.
I don't either.
I mean, and that's coming from Ian Rappaport, and sometimes we take my man Rap Sheet at his, with a grain of salt. And I'm even our friend Eric Slitt over at LionsWire.com said, take that kind of with a grain of salt. Because I mean, it's going to be a change wherever he goes. You know what I'm saying? So you could say, oh, if Bevell would have stayed. Well, I don't think Bevell was ever going to stay.
Right. I don't think so either. And the other thing is I think Stafford had made up his mind. You guys have any idea on how long this has been that he has realized that this is going to be his last season? Do you think he knew this before when he was putting his house up for sale and all that?
I think it may have been a turning point where he put his house up for sale. He was like, well, we just want a bigger place. And dude, you got a plenty big house out there. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's one of those things where if you look at the end of that last game, you know what I'm saying, where he was pretty much saying bye to his teammates. And he was really saying that, he knew that was going to be his last game in Detroit. I think that makes sense. I think that he knew that was going to be his last game, and he just wanted to go out. He wanted to play in that last game because he couldn't have to play in that last game against the Vikings. He was hurt, but he wanted to play one last go around in Detroit. So he decided to make a business decision and play one last time in the Honolulu Blue and Silver because he knew he had already probably went to the brass and said, hey, it's my time here is over. It's time for me to move on. And, they probably were like, yeah, I mean, we get it. Just look at his career and things he's done in Detroit. And he wants to leave pretty much on his own terms. And I can get why the Lions will want to say, okay, yeah, but and people say that, well, he might stay because, they might not get fair market value. No, they're going to get fair market value and probably then some probably then some for him, just because of the fact that the quarterback position in the league, there are tons of teams that want a quarterback and they want a quarterback.
Doesn't that tell you something? Doesn't it tell everybody that they wanted Stafford out of here that, oh, look at the teams lining up for a quarterback. So you guys think we're just going to draft somebody and it's going to be magical and it's just going to be great and we're just going to find the next guy. That is not probably what's going to happen here. But I think the good news here is that I think we can build a good defense. I think we can build a good running game. And I think we could have a game manager quarterback and still make the Super Bowl or something like that. I think if we approach it a little differently, maybe we can still get somewhere. But this is a big blow. This is not something that is a minor thing or, well, let's just move on. We just draft somebody that's going to be fine. No, it's not. Ask the Jets.
It's not. I mean,
Yeah.
Ask Miami.
And I mean, he put his house up for sale back in May, so you kind of saw the writing on the wall. I think the only thing that would have changed it would have been, having some success on the season, which obviously didn't really come. And playing through injuries, I think really turned him off from the Lions. But the one good thing is this is an opportunity to actually get something for one of the Detroit Lions star players instead of just watching them walk or, retire.
That's
So,
absolutely the truth, Chris. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's a big deal when Calvin walked away, Barry walked away, and
Yep.
we can get a haul for him. Let's go to the comment cards real quick. I got Ted Cheney who said, "How about Wentz, Mariota, or Winston as a bridge quarterback?" They're all great. I mean, anybody but Stafford, of course, but I'm gonna be bitter about this for a while, so but it's okay. I don't like Wentz. Mariota
of-
sucks. Winston
of those guys, I mean, they all kind of get. They're all kind of like similar. I mean, like as far as Wentz can run a little bit with as far as Mariota as well.
Winston can run a little bit too.
Nah,
But he's more of a
who would I take out of those guys?
none.
Probably Bridgewater, maybe. Just because I've watched some down here in
Bridgewater
Carolina.
ain't even in this. This
Yeah.
is Mariota.
Oh, as a bridge. Okay. I would take
Fitzpatrick. That's who I would take right now. And why?
as a bridge.
Because,
Wentz,
because if we draft a young guy, I want him to sit a year to learn the system, to get stronger, to develop his body into an NFL quarterback, develop his mind into an NFL player, to be able to sit and I'm not saying Fitzpatrick's great and he's going to learn a lot from him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we got to have somebody play quarterback that doesn't suck. And we're not going to roll somebody out there and ruin his freaking career like we did Joey Harrington. We have to have somebody to bridge the gap till the guy's ready. And I mean, there are quarterbacks that have started right off the bat and they do well, but I don't know. A lot of injuries happen to them.
Only thing about Fitzpatrick is he's more of like a fill-in, plug-in for a few games type of guy. I don't really know if he doesn't have great success starting the whole season.
We're not going to have great success.
It's going to be a down year next year. Yeah, it's going to be unless we can pull off a miracle to get or already prove a commodity or a higher draft, pick in the quarterback game, we're going to have a down year at the quarterback position. And think about this. Look at those last two guys, Mariota and Winston. Those guys went like 1 and 2 in the draft, and now they're journeymen.
Yep.
And that wasn't too long ago that these guys were the number 1, number 2 overall picks in the draft.
Right. And that's why it's so hard to find a franchise guy. When you have one, you don't run them out of town.
Yep. And all right, Rod Love 313. What up, Rod Love? Friend of the show. He said, I was thinking Fields, Wilson, or Lance with number 7, and then sign free agent T-Mobile. If you don't know who that is, that's Tyrod Taylor. Until our rookie is ready, he knows Lynn's system.
That's not terrible. I would do that.
That's not terrible. As long as we keep the needle away from his doggone lungs, and I think he'll be all right. I mean, surprisingly, that situation was crazy out there in LA where if you don't know it, Tyrod Taylor was going to be the starting quarterback and Herbert was going to sit behind him until he had a rib injury and he was supposed to get a shot for the pain, and the team doctor actually punctured his lung.
Yep.
That was crazy.
Oh, that is crazy. That is crazy. Okay, Dakota Baird says, I do not agree with this at all. However, Stafford deserves a chance elsewhere after all we have put him through. I agree with that. Those last 3 years under Patricia are probably the straw that broke the camel's back. Well, no, his back was broken before then, I think. Sorry, that was a terrible joke.
Wow.
And what do I think about Fields, Wilson, or Lance? I don't really like Ohio State quarterbacks. They haven't done really well in the league, but you can't label everybody. I've watched a lot of film on Zach Wilson. He's good. He's a shorter throw guy. If he has somebody open downfield, it's a good pass. But I don't know. He's got a little bit of developing to do, I think. And then Trey Lance, I have not watched film on him yet, so I don't want to make a big
It's
statement.
going to be a hard to find film. This just because he didn't play. You're gonna have to look at the last year's film because of this year. They only played like a couple games because of the pandemic. That whole conference was pretty down for the FCS. Yeah. All right. 661. God is love. God is love. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that name. Do you think a trade with Deshaun Watson could happen? Is going to take a big haul. Now that's going to be where we're going to have to mortgage some of our draft capital to get Deshaun Watson. I mean,
but that's not going to happen.
It's not going to be a 1-for-1. And Deshaun Watson, like we discussed when we had an error a few days ago, we discussed that Watson does have a no trade clause, so he has to approve any trade from Houston.
And is he going to approve us? I think not.
The only thing that may be beneficial is the staff that we're building. That's the only thing that may be attractive. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but that may be the one thing that may be attractive to some free agents or people who might want to choose Detroit as a destination is the staff that we're building.
We do have I love what we're doing with the staff. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of checks and balances. It seems like there's a lot of chefs in the kitchen. That's the only thing that kind of worries me about that. But I don't know. I think we've built a nice system of people that can support each other and different ideas, not just one idea. So John Brown says right now, with all the other teams that are interested, should show every Lions fan just how good he was and still is. This is a good thing for both parties involved. Great shows as always, guys. Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that a lot of the Lions haters were like, "Oh, we'll see how much they get for him. That'll show you how good he was. They probably won't even get a 3rd round pick for him." Okay.
Yeah, people are opening up that checkbook and opening up those mortgages for that future.
Well, it's not done yet. So I mean, devil's advocate on that, there's no deal in place yet, so we really don't know what the compensation is, but from what I've heard out there, it seems like it's a lot.
Looks like it. Yeah. All right, last one. Eva Leclerc says, I am glad for him. Thanks, Matthew. You will always be my hero. I always like Matthew Stafford. There was a question on Facebook. Someone asked what I'm gonna do with all my, what I'm gonna do with my Matthew Stafford jersey. I said, shoot, I got several, and I will continue to rock them because Stafford's always gonna be my boy in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? So, I still rock my Megatron jerseys, and I still rock my berries. So I will continue to rock my Matthew Stafford. He's a legend in Detroit.
For me, yes, too.
Best quarterback of all time for Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those grow on trees. But anyway, I'm bitter about this. I'm going to be bitter for a while. You know what? We got to move on from it, though. We do. We have.
Yeah, we do.
Go to the future and see what we can build. Let's build a really strong offensive line, a great running game, and a great defense. And I think we can go further than we did with Stafford. Not that Stafford's a terrible player. It's just the makeup of the team possibly could be better because of the people we brought in. Question of the day. What do you think the haul will be for Stafford? What do you think we'll get for him? So you could leave that in the comments below and find when we'll read some of those tomorrow on the show. Now it's my favorite time of the whole show, the Dessert with Curt.
Okay, it's time for some tasty morsels. And today we're going to address something that we addressed a few shows ago. And we were there when we talked about how the media was kind of down on the Lions on hiring Dan Campbell. And they were talking about the minority coaching hires for the team and the Rooney Rule. One thing I will do is I will say that I like what the Lions are doing in their diversity department. They have a minority general manager, a minority assistant general manager, 2 minority coordinators, and the 2 biggest assistants they've for the coaching staff they hired are minorities as well. And these are big name sought after individuals. So for those who are saying that, well, the Lions aren't doing their right when they're minorities hires, look at the staff they're building and that they're getting it right. So
and my thought on that is haters going to hate.
Haters are going to hate. And I think that if those guys didn't want to be in Detroit, they're making it an attractive place for him to be. And Dan Campbell is one of those guys. He can help build that staff, and he's making it an attractive place for them to come as well as with Brad Holmes at the helm at the GM. So big shout out to Sheila Ford Hemp and Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell for building an excellent staff and a diverse staff. So for all those who saying they got it wrong, look at their hires. No, they're getting it right.
Yeah, they are getting it right. And I just love that everyone in the organization that's put in a position that didn't have the experience, and we were really upset about that at first, but now they have someone they can rely on, that they can go to, that has that experience. I really like what they've set up here. I do. And I think it's going to work. I really do. There's people that were up for other GM coaching jobs. There were people that interviewed for head coaching jobs that are on our staff. Yeah. You know, so it's incredible what they did. It really is. So
and think about, it's two people. Duce Staley was one, and I know that Aaron Glenn was another. I think it's one more person that were trying to that the Chicago Bears were trying to hire.
Yeah, and
these are two guys that the Chicago Bears wanted, and they chose Detroit over Chicago. And that just goes to show you what kind of juice and what's kind of cachet that these guys that we have in our leadership is bringing to the Lions organization.
Or it could be they just didn't want to be outside in December. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Val's gonna love that comment.
Get me. All right, guys. Thanks for rocking with us. We're going to come to the end of the show. Now, I want to thank Chris for joining us and being here to help us with our mistakes and be here to help us with our stats. I really appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, guys. It was fun. Good show today.
Yeah, I think so too. Appreciate each and every one of you guys that rock with us, that subscribe, that follow us on Twitter and Facebook groups and everything like that. We also would like you to go to Belly Up Sports and see us on their website as well, and catch some of the other folks that are up there doing some wonderful work in the podcast industry from Belly Up Sports. Also, one more thing, the Skull Candy stuff is in the description. And if you were going to purchase some of that stuff anyway, you can help the show by purchasing it through that link. We do get compensated for that. And I really appreciate it if you would do that, because it helps the show. So we appreciate everything you do for our show. And now to bring us home, we bring in Curt.
Hey, you know who we are, people. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And as always, join the family, subscribe to the channel, join us weekdays right here, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our premieres of our show. And you can chat with us right during the premieres. And if you want to get your comments right up front, you can join the super chat. Comment on the videos, like the videos, share the videos, follow us on social media. All of this helps us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. And you know what we need you to do. Whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man Chris and Jim right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.